It's like you're trying to DJ over there, buddy. I like it. Hey, so we're good on the old Facebook. Everything is good. All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to This Pink Cloud.
Welcome.
Season 2, episode 15, dude.
Episode 15.
Oh, nice.
For the Spanish-speaking crowd.
Right, I like it. A little bilingual. I've actually been working on my Spanish.
Hey, now.
I've been watching HBO Latino. So, and I put the subtitles on so I can actually get a little help, you know, little leg up, you know.
It will sink in a little bit,
and it will not tell you how to conjugate a star or anything like that.
It's not going to help you there.
That's where I have the most problem, but that's for another show. So I am DJ Kelly Reverb, as hopefully y'all know by now, and this is the Professor Nolan.
The Professor Nolan.
And
good morning.
And kind of on time today. I'm kind of impressed.
Hey, now, what are you gonna do?
And what do you think of the new flavor there, buddy?
It's
on
not
the
bad.
On the squirts.
On the squirts, yeah, it's not bad. The berry blast.
The berry blast. It's a little purple drink.
It's I can work with it.
Right.
I think it's gonna get the job done.
Well, and if you're just joining us, we are a show that is designed to help you obtain and maintain sobriety. Obviously, we are a resource broker here, and we have our good friend. I'm going to go ahead and jump to him right now because he has a time-sensitive schedule. And as I like to say it, he is in the bowels of recovery. You know, he's on the front lines.
Yeah.
He is, and his name is Craig Anderson. And he is actually with an organization called APAA, APAA, and not APPA, because that's an airbender. And
that's an airbender?
Yeah.
Like Avatar, the airbender?
Yeah. So it's APAA, which stands for the Association of Persons Affected by Addiction. Craig.
Which is everyone.
Yeah, exactly. Craig. Caller, are you there?
I am here. I'm glad to be on the show today.
Good morning, Craig. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for coming on, man. I appreciate it. So why don't you tell us real quick, we'll hear a little history about APAA, and then we'll get into your personal story. So why don't you just give us the spiel on what APAA is?
Okay, so it's we pronounce it APA, but that's
you go.
But I think a lot of people when they hear that they think it's Apple. So I don't work for Apple. No.
Well, we will pronounce it the correct way then. APA.
But yeah, it's fancy. I like that. So APA is it's a recovery community organization. It's the first one accredited in the state of Texas, and there's only like 4 or 5 in the whole state. So it's a community center. It's a drop-in center.
Okay.
You know, where people can come in, they can catch a group. You know, we offer a lot of resources. We are stockpiled with coaches, recovery coaches, both for mental health and substance use. You know, it's a great resource.
Yeah, I mean, when I went by there the other day, it was like I didn't realize it was such a one-stop shop for recovery, because y'all actually have inpatient as well, right?
We refer people to inpatient services.
Oh, okay. All right, I gotcha.
So where are you guys located then?
On MLK, 3116 MLK Junior Boulevard.
Okay.
We can see the Ferris wheel at State for the what is it called? For Fair Park.
State Fair.
Right.
The Texas
right
State Fair. Well, right on. Well, so Craig, okay, so let's rewind back to the beginning for you. Like, where did where did your addiction start off? And then how did you wind up with APAA?
Wow.
I know.
I think
Yeah,
a lot of people.
I'm painting with broad strokes here.
Yeah, not everybody that works with alcoholics and drug addicts is one, but certainly a lot of us are. Yeah, like Kelly said, where did it start for you, and then where did it start going wrong?
Exactly.
Right, my personal journey. Wow, it goes back for a lot of people, like in your childhood. Trauma in the childhood. Sneaking drinks, enjoying that feeling, realizing that it was an escape that worked at the time. Of course, there's the college years, and all the other drug experimentation.
Saved by the Bell, the college years.
Right.
Underrated show. Underrated.
But it was probably in 1999 I started drinking pretty heavily, and I was feeling like I really felt like I was having a mental health crisis, and I was just putting alcohol on top of it.
Yeah.
Sure. Masking.
Don't really know which one it was, but I went inpatient, and they leaned more towards the depression. They're like, we're going to prescribe you this, but you must stop drinking. And it wasn't a big deal. I stopped drinking, for a good 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
So, had a couple kiddos. I got to stay home with them, which was a huge experience. But then ended up, getting divorced. That kind of put me in a little bit of a depression again.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't taking my medication. I always think I know what I'm doing.
Right.
Sure.
And you probably were not working any type of recovery program, right?
But it doesn't sound like you were doing that at any point during this 10 years, right?
Say again?
Doesn't sound like you were doing that really at any point during this 10-year stretch, right?
No, I never engaged in any kind of, outside help at all.
Yep.
No. And I didn't really know a lot about it. I've heard about it. I think like a lot of Americans, you see it in the media, you see it in movies, a bunch of drunks sitting in a room drinking coffee, smoking cigarettes. I'm like, that's not for me.
Right.
I didn't know anything about it. It's a poor image that they're portraying.
They do what they can, I guess.
Yeah. So I guess it was about 2009. I was in a pretty serious car accident. I got my leg broken, almost had it amputated. They prescribed me all kinds of painkillers. I had all sorts of opiates. And I had a nurse that would come to the house, and she would talk to me about it. She goes, don't take too many, don't take more than you need. The doctor overprescribed you, and I adhered to what she said.
Sure.
Right. I adhered to what she said, but what I didn't tell her, because I always have, we always keep a secret because I was drinking.
Yeah. You got to keep, some in the back pocket.
Right. Yeah. He was drinking on top
I can't
the medication, which they highly recommend that on most bottles is.
Well, look, you can't be expected to follow all the labels.
Chase this with copious amounts of alcohol.
You've got to pick and choose the warnings you're going to follow,
right?
And do your best.
Yeah, and I guess I've always felt that I was somehow special, and those warnings on the bottle didn't apply to me.
Yeah,
but I was drinking in excess on top of taking these opiates, and it really sent me into a tailspin.
Now, had you started drinking again before the car accident, or was that an after the car accident thing?
You know what? Here and there, but not to the point where it was an excess. It was more of kind of like fancy drinking, just, maybe some wine with dinner,
Sure.
Oh, yeah. As long as it costs,
I like the pinky.
Yeah, of course. As long as it costs.
Yeah.
As long as it costs money or a significant amount of money, then it can't be detrimental to you, right?
Yes.
Right. Or the expensive craft brew beers.
Oh, there you go. Beer snob.
I did that for a while. It is actually a good justification. It worked on my dumb brain. I thought I wasn't drinking alcoholically because I was drinking expensive stuff. But yeah, understand that.
Exactly. Yeah. But, that really put me in a bad place. It really did. And I went back to work, and I got a DUI on the job in the work vehicle.
Whoa.
Good time. They frown on that.
Yeah.
It's, if this wasn't publicized, I would, I worked for a big telecom company.
Sure.
And I had an accident, just my vehicle, front of a famous place here in DFW.
Okay.
So they asked me to go to rehab.
Well,
Which
Strongly
I did.
suggested. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
So,
Yeah.
which I did, and I made it. It was a 30-day program. The day before I was to graduate, I drank. So
wow.
they re-enrolled me. I had good insurance. So
Okay.
it was a 60-day program.
Now, this
and
was
I did pretty well.
inpatient, Craig?
It was inpatient for those 60 days, and then it was another, I think, 45 days.
No, but so you drank on 30.
IOP.
So how did you sneak it in, or what? Did I miss something? No, because you said you drank on 30 days.
Yeah. So it was like the last week they let you go home, and you would do like what do they call it? PHP.
Yeah.
Partial hospitalization.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So I decided to, just to kind of just test those waters. I mean, I can have a couple, right?
Yeah. I mean, because you're really good at drinking. So yeah.
The brain that we're working with. I just got a DUI on the job and went to rehab. So let's just see if the stove is still hot.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that is true, dude.
Okay, so they re-enroll you. You do another 30.
I do another 30, and then it was another 45 of it was all outpatient.
Okay.
And that's when I started to realize that I did have a problem. But I kept it a secret, and I did the meetings that they had at the hospital, but I didn't really seek any outside meetings.
Mm-hmm.
But, I'd been gone a while. I'd used up all my money. My vehicle's repossessed, my apartment, I was like 2 months behind on rent, and I lost all those things. And it was really shocking to me.
And all why I'm
I
trying to
didn't
be a
have
dad on top of it, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they mentioned, one of the therapists there mentioned going into a recovery home. And I thought, what, maybe that's what I need. Maybe I just need to start all over again, because I haven't been doing I haven't been doing life well for a while.
Right.
Yeah.
And I found this recovery home. It was a Christian-based program in Fort Worth. And it was not a great environment at all. And, I was miserable. The house manager was drunk all the time. And it just wasn't a healthy environment where you could thrive.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the house manager is on a bender. Hey, everybody stay sober. I got to go to the liquor store. I'll be back.
I mean, everything, whether it's a halfway house or a 12-step group or anything, is sort of dependent on its members, whether or not it's, a good one.
Right.
So if you've got bad members, then you're going to have a bad house or a bad group or whatever. Not even bad. That's the wrong word. You know what I mean?
We got you.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. He wasn't. So they had meetings there twice a week, AA meetings, and I had been attending those. And they had an outside group that would come in and lead them. There was a member there, a very pretty young lady that I started talking to after the meeting because she was pretty.
Uh-huh.
And
sure, of course,
I'm just being honest.
Hey, sure.
She asked me, she's like, do you like it here? And I'm like, no, not really. She said, have you ever heard of this other organization that has recovery homes? They're called Oxford Houses. And I'm like, no. I mean, I don't know anything.
Yeah,
right.
So she gave me a brochure. I gave them a call. I got accepted into one of their homes here in Dallas, and it completely changed my recovery journey. Everyone in the house was very serious about recovery. Everyone had different pathways. They were all embraced. It was a clean environment. People weren't using. And if they did, they had to leave.
Sure.
So
they actually had
really
rules there.
Me.
They actually had rules. I said they actually had rules there. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
and people abided
the other
by
place
them.
had rules.
Yeah, they had rules that weren't enforced or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, Oxford Houses. I've had a little bit of experience with Oxford Houses, and everyone I know that's had experience with them has generally been pretty positive. So for those listening, that is a resource that's There's tons of them in DFW.
Yeah. Now, is
Tons.
Oxford just male only, or is it male
No,
and female? Right?
There's either male only or female only, and actually I do think there are some homes for couples.
Okay.
But I don't quote me on that in the DFW area. But
Okay.
I know there are female houses as well as male houses.
Ah, good to know.
Yes, so there's male houses, female houses. There's what they call mommy and me houses, moms with little kids.
Mm-hmm.
There are, daddy and me houses. They try to, incorporate everything they can to help as many people as they can.
Yeah,
Sure.
a lot of different situations. It's not,
Yeah. So I moved in. I expected to stay about 3 or 4 months because I had it all together, right?
Right.
It turns out I stayed almost 5 years.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
I fell in love with the program. I was able to move around and start opening up other homes.
There you go.
I really started to volunteer my time within the organization because I got a lot out of it.
Yeah.
And initially I started because I wanted to help other men, but you can only help someone else so much. You can create a structure and a support for other people, but they have to embrace it.
Yeah, they actually have.
I did it. I really did it for myself. I really enjoyed
in
it
recover.
a lot.
You actually have to want to be. I figured that out. You have to actually want to be recovered.
Yeah.
To achieve recovery.
Yeah.
Hey, real
Right.
quick, I don't want to cut you off here, but I do want to drop in our sponsor since we're talking about all these good places to go.
Another good place.
Summer Sky out in Stephenville, Texas. We've got those shirts coming,
Hey, now.
and we'll be wearing them hopefully next week with the I went to rehab and all I got was my life back.
Yeah, you better believe I'll be wearing that shirt.
Yeah.
Looking forward to that one.
So anyway, but reach out to them, and Craig, sorry for cutting you off. Just had to sneak that in.
No, you're fine. I've listened to some of your other shows, and I know that it's important to give them a plug, especially since what I heard you all say is they've helped turn your life around.
Yeah, they sort of saved our life. So a plug is the least we can do, I think.
Exactly.
Balance the scales a little bit.
And they helped me lose 30 pounds.
Yeah.
it was like going to a weight loss camp too. It's amazing what happens when you don't drink. Did you ever? Yeah. Speaking of that, did you ever get to an Elvis status in your drinking, like where you were in a larger size clothing, or did you ever gain, or were you one of those guys that never gained weight at all?
For me, but
Yeah.
no. When I don't drink, I usually put on pounds. When I do drink, it's to such a point where I'm sick. I lose weight.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
It goes one way or the other.
They do.
For
Yeah.
most people, yeah.
The organs are shrinking. Yeah, it's bad.
Well, who has time for food?
Right.
I mean, that's just
Right.
just gets in the way. But okay, so you're opening up Oxford House. Is this all in DFW, or are you traveling around other cities for Oxford, or?
Yeah, it's mostly in DFW. I got to help open up a new idea up in Oklahoma City. It was an Oxford home that would take people that were discharging from prison.
Okay. Yep.
And so it would give them a place to stay for a week or two until they could be placed into another home, within the state. So that was like 18 men in a house. That was a lot.
Ooh, yeah, it's a big one.
And typically they have, typically like DFW area, there could be 6, there could be 8 or 9, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, just since we're
So
on the
when
subject of it, just to kind of let people know. So it's essentially these are houses just like any rent house or, any house you see in a regular old neighborhood.
Yeah.
3-bedroom, 4-bedroom houses.
Sure.
Normally 2 guys to a room. Sometimes there'll be like the guy with the most seniority gets his own room situation.
Right. Well, and it's also, a more affordable living.
The
right?
most seasoned.
Yeah.
And
Most seasoned.
yeah, and it's just all folks in recovery, like you were talking about, multiple pathways. They don't make you do it this way or do it that way.
Or Gotcha.
But being sober is part of the deal.
Sure.
At any point, if the house members decide they want to drug test you, then you're going to take that test or you're going to leave. And if you fail that test, then you're going to leave.
Right.
Begrudgingly, You know, it's not fun kicking someone out, but that's
Sure.
the way it's got to be.
Right.
That can poison a house, and all of a sudden you've got multiple relapses
Oh yeah.
before you know it. So, yeah, but it's really cool that those are available. And, yeah, I'm glad you've had some
So
experience
then
with
you
that, 'cause I don't think we talked about
go
it yet on
from
the show.
Oxford House and then setting up the other organization in Oklahoma, and then eventually, I mean, is there any window between that, or how did you get introduced to APA, or how did we pronounce it?
APA.
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 Well, APA, yeah. Well, a lot of the guys that were coming in were needing all the same things that I needed. Maybe, how do I apply for food stamps? How do I travel to here? How do I get my license renewed? After a DUI, it's all the
Sure.
same basic things. And I was helping the guys that would come in with these things that I had struggled with. And I had mentioned it to a friend of a friend. He goes, that they have people that get paid to do that. And I'm like, no. Yeah, they're called recovery coaches. I'm like, no, never heard of that. So I looked into it, and I got introduced to a gentleman who was putting on a national rally, or it was a statewide rally, the big Texas Rally for Recovery.
Okay.
I've heard about it. I have yet to experience it because of the vid, the Rona. Yep. But
we'll all start gathering together like in the good old days soon enough.
yeah.
Those are the big gatherings, the conferences and stuff like those are awesome, powerful events.
Nice. So the big Texas Rally, yeah.
Yeah, so this was the gentleman I work for now, Mr. Joe Powell, the CEO of APA. I contacted him. He goes, "Oh, we're having a meeting, later this week. I'd love for you to come." And it was a planning meeting. I've never planned a rally before. There was a lot of people there. We rented out a whole bridge. We shut down a whole bridge in Dallas. We rented police on horses, and we had all these vendors, all recovery related. They had some big names there, politicians, and it was very, very impressive. But my role was Oxford House has a world convention every year. It was going to be in Dallas the same year, but the events overlapped. So that wasn't beneficial. So we got them separated out by a day. So once the World Convention ended, they could go to the big Texas Rally.
That was like the recovery weekend.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So it worked out beautifully. So that was my role in it. But since then, I really got hooked on, doing these presentations and events and I really get a lot out of it. I love it.
Right.
I'm really good at spending a lot of the government's money.
Hey, do it. This is a worthy cause right here.
Yeah, for sure.
So it sounds like
So
service
we're
has
currently
been
planning for, this would be my 5th one this year.
okay.
Yeah, when
Service
does the
work?
big Texas Rally happen this year?
Yeah.
Or is it happening? Or is it happening in a reduced scale?
I'm not sure that the exact
Via
date.
Zoom some kind of way.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it always happens in September.
Okay.
So it always happens in September. It's National Recovery Month.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when SAMHSA, releases a block of money to put on an event like this. And,
Gotcha.
and this year it's going to be in Houston.
Ah, cool. All right, so
Yeah, so
you
road trip.
mentioned this about, and I want to touch on this, and you mentioned the recovery coach and getting paid for it and stuff like that. But I also wanted to mention, like, one of the things that you do at your organization is you actually train people to become RSPS and mental health specialists, correct? Or mental.
Yes.
Wait, hold on. I got to get the acronym right.
Yeah.
Mental health peer specialist. Yay,
That's it.
me.
That's it.
Yay. Yay.
Yeah.
So many acronyms.
Oh, I know. Get into that, because I actually trained. This guy was actually my trainer.
Oh,
and
yeah?
I'm kind of disappointed you don't have the mustache wax working today.
Well, I trimmed it because I had a suggestion from my wife. So,
Yeah.
the suggestions.
She got tired of the barbershop quartet look.
Yeah.
And she got it's so funny because like he has a little tick.
Oh, I can see it now
Where
with a
he-
little semblance. Of
Yeah,
that.
where but he always does this like while he's thinking. I'm
Like,
calling you out,
oh,
Craig.
oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So, but it's kind of it's funny, but like that's how I remembered him from the training. Was like Craig,
the old West villain that trained
Craig,
you.
yeah, the old West villain, the Wild West.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a good show.
Snidely Whiplash.
That's what I was
There
trying
you
to
go.
remember the name. Thank you. Yeah, so it sounds like, service work has been your path to recovery, to just feeling whole and well, like you keep saying, you get a lot out of it. You get a lot out of it. That's not just words. I know what you mean. You get a lot out of it, helping other people. It has an effect. I don't know, whenever I get an opportunity to do it and I'm smart enough to seize the opportunity, I get a lot out of it as well.
Yes.
Yeah. So, very cool.
Well, so why don't you, why don't we go ahead and dive into the organization more? I know I went by there this week and I actually picked up tons of literature. But why don't you just kind of give us, I know the in-person meetings are happening, but everybody mask up and socially distance. So why don't you tell us kind of currently what's going on at the organization and how it's helping folks?
Sure. So, because of COVID, we've had limited the amount of, peers that are in the building. So currently we have 3 in-person meetings a day. At 10 o'clock, we have a spiritual development. So it's anything, spiritual related and then those types of pathways. And then at noon, we have healthy living. A lot of times we have nurses from the college come down and volunteer their time to work with some of the peers, take their blood pressure, check their weight, talk to them about diabetes, because that's very prominent in this neighborhood.
Sure.
And they usually lead that group. And then at 2 o'clock, we have a DRA meeting, which is Dual Recovery Anonymous. So those are folks that identify with substance use as well as mental health.
Okay.
So that is a 12-step meeting.
Hold on. You would consider that co-occurring.
Look
Look at the smile on his face.
I listened in class.
He's like, hey, I got a vocab word.
I'm very happy to hear
that's
that.
cool though. I didn't know that was a 12-step. There's so many 12-step organizations. I should make sense that is one. But
right.
Yeah, that of co-occurring, mental health issues along with substance abuse. That's cool that you've got that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we do one virtual meeting. We do one Zoom DRA at 11 o'clock.
Okay.
And that one's probably my favorite one because there's a lot of people that can't travel.
Mm-hmm.
Right. When you say DRA, what is that acronym for?
The Dual Recovery Anonymous.
Dual Recovery Anonymous. Okay, I gotcha. Well, all right. So that, and then also I wanted to announce, because y'all are actually, and I am going to sign up for this to get my MHPS.
Yes.
But yeah, and I'm actually probably, hopefully, knock on wood, going to be working with this facility soon.
Okay.
But I know that you're doing, and I'm assuming all this information is online if they want to go to the APAA recovery.org. Once again, that is APAA recovery.org. But you actually have classes, and there's actually a scholarship, limited funds for people that want to learn this, that don't have the funds to take the course, correct?
Yeah, so the course, depending upon what organization you take it through, could run anywhere between $500 and $750. And I know it was a struggle for me years ago to come up with that amount of money.
Yeah.
So there is a scholarship available through a sister organization called the Recovery People. And as long as you qualify 18 years or older, GED, have a lived experience with substance use, they will scholarship you to take the training. that's a huge
Well,
benefit.
and that's how I was actually able to get my RSPS, because of that. Because I mean, hey, sorry, don't
Yeah.
don't have the extra $500, and take a week off, of work as well,
Yeah. And then next month, well, that's tomorrow, May, is Mental Health Awareness Month. And on our own, we've decided to kind of promote that. We're offering to scholarship people for the MHPS, the Mental Health Peer Specialist, because
Right.
we don't have as many people sign up for that one.
Sure.
And to me, that's probably, sometimes that could be more important depending upon, where a person's coming from.
Oh yeah, I agree. I mean, a lot of it is self-medicating, and it's really just somebody might be bipolar, and when you throw in alcohol on that, then it doesn't work out so well sometimes.
Yeah, and we're still so early on in figuring out the proper ways to deal with mental health issues, and there's a lot of folks out there that have grown up with some sort of mental health problem and have never even received proper treatment or anything close to it.
Or a diagnosis.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah, all of that. And absolutely. Especially, I'm familiar with where the building's at in that neighborhood too. It's a big issue. So no, that's cool too. Okay.
So, and then also, so you're doing the training, and there's a potential scholarship where people can take this, but then also you are currently searching. I mean, you have job openings at APAA right now.
We definitely do. So after you take the class, you're supposed to do 250 volunteer hours, but you can be paid when you volunteer.
Right.
If you get hired on.
Sure.
But yeah, APAA, we are definitely looking for some really good people.
Okay.
Some.
So all my friends out there that want to get into recovery, I have found the path for us.
We shall take over, APAA.
I am Spartacus.
Before you go,
go ahead. A lot of us in early recovery, we want to give back, and I hear this similar things. I want to become an LCDC,
sure,
a drug counselor. I want to open my own recovery house. I want to be a recovery coach. But once you get into like this field, it can be heartbreaking at times.
Absolutely,
sure.
It's the percentage of really supporting people and see them, become successful in the time frame you want them to be. It's not that high.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah, we were kind of talking about it at the beginning. You do have to want it. You have to want it, and it's tough. Sometimes the journey to get to a point where you want it enough is difficult to watch.
Yeah. Well, and it is...
sometimes people don't survive it. Really.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's tough, but all you can do is keep putting it out there. Keep putting it out there. So whenever someone is ready, because none of us know what that looks like, right? None of us have a meter that says this one's ready and this one's not. So you just keep putting it out there, and so you do get some success.
You get a bite.
Yeah.
Fishing.
So I get to do one. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say fishing for recovery.
Fishing.
Now go ahead. What were you going to say?
I get to do one training that I'm really passionate about, and it's overdose awareness.
Ah, perfect.
And to me, that's
because I was about to tell you I love your shirt.
Yeah, so, I was going to say, go ahead and tell them what the shirt is about.
So this is from an organization out in Fort Worth that I associated with several years ago. We usually come together to do events. Yeah. And I love them. They're a harm reduction organization called OD Aid, Overdose Aid. So, usually when we hook up, we swap T-shirts. But, I love this one. So I usually do a class on how to identify if someone's overdosing, and then the steps on how to reverse it.
Yep. Right.
And naloxone is the medication that you can give someone who's overdosing on an opiate.
Now
a lot of
what?
people
Now
call
what
it
people have
Narcan.
seen? Yeah, people have seen in the movie the I guess the EpiPen is what they call it, and they
Oh,
just give it. A
Oh
shot in
yeah,
the heart in the
that's
movie. In the
movie's
movies.
the adrenaline needle, right?
Yeah.
They give you adrenaline needle.
Like,
Yeah.
directly in the
like
heart.
what was that?
Yeah.
Pulp Fiction. Yeah.
Get him to the Greek.
Yeah.
That silly movie does that too. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
So, but
that's
this is actually practical knowledge that is real life knowledge
Yeah.
to dispel any movie misnomers.
Well, it is true that before naloxone, that is what they did
yeah.
on site, but this is much better.
Yeah. And hey, back that up because I think there's a graphic on that shirt, Craig, as well.
Oh.
There we go.
Yeah.
The non-flat line, the heartbeat.
Right. They're bringing life back.
Right.
Because there's a lot of stigma surrounding, giving addicts medication to reverse their overdose. They'll just go get high again.
Oh, that's silly.
The way I look at it is you're giving someone another chance to embrace recovery.
Yeah.
That's silliness. It just makes me angry.
Now, see, Nolan, our friend over here, I don't know,
Yeah.
because we've never gotten into this, but have you ever OD'd?
Yeah, absolutely.
Where you actually had to have somebody revive you or hospitalized?
No, I've never received naloxone.
Okay.
I just have been lucky. And
Yeah.
it is just dumb luck. There's no,
Did you have to be hospitalized or?
Once, yeah. And then, from opiates, from heroin specifically, 4 times that I would consider serious overdoses. And there are degrees of overdose, too.
Right.
A doctor would probably tell me the numbers, if he was there every day or whatever, it's probably more like 20 or 30 times. But to where it was serious business where I could have lost my life, I'd say 4 times. But I personally never received naloxone. I was a very, very solitary drug user. So I was alone a lot of the time. So I just happened to wake up. You know?
Like you said, no telling how many times your heart rate was like down.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And
below 60.
And then some folks don't, but only because I was alone. Had I been with other people, absolutely, anyone at that point I'm sure would have looked at me and been like, yeah, we got to go get naloxone, or hopefully we have some on us. That organization you were talking about in Fort Worth, I'm familiar with them. I've done some work with Pine Street and some other organizations right there on Lancaster, and they give out the naloxone kits, which is fantastic.
And that's actually what I was going to ask you about. So so anybody out there that happens to know an active, I guess IV opiate user.
Yeah, doesn't have to be IV. You can OD. It's certainly easier to do so.
Oh yeah.
With
Well,
IV
I mean,
use.
you can just do the pills, the old street pills.
But
the old
overdose is
The
possible.
old street fentanyl will do the trick,
overdose is
too.
possible.
There you
All methods of
But
use.
so I just want them. So if they want to get on this training course that you do, they can just get this information at that website, right?
Definitely. And we're still trying to plan the next in-person one because I did a Zoom one. It's informational, but it needs to be more hands-on.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. I understand. It's like trying to teach a CPR class via Zoom.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So now when
Because there's
you're
multiple-
teaching people, do they actually get the kits from you, or do you tell them where?
Yeah, so I definitely, because I don't think it's beneficial if you don't have the medication to give them.
Right. So you're giving them the actual medication as well.
Yeah, so I give them a choice. There's the one with the syringe and the vial that a lot of organizations don't want that in their they don't want to be part of that one.
Sure.
They can choose that one, or they can choose the Narcan, which is the nasal injector.
Yeah, a lot of those out there.
Those are a lot easier to use. They definitely are. But the ones with the syringe are a lot cheaper.
Right. Well, people always have the stigma with the needle. So
Well, yeah,
Right.
I guess that's
A little
part of
bit,
it. Yeah, that is part of it. And well, I'll tell you though that that medicine's saving lives left and right, but the work of handing out those kits, that makes a difference. Like when I was before I got sober at Summer Sky, the people I was hanging around and all that stuff, those kits are everywhere out there, and they're being used when people overdose. So, yeah, absolutely. It's becoming a practice that a lot of drug users, opiate users, especially IV opiate users, carry naloxone with them or have it, have a friend that has some on them. It's becoming common practice, so it's good stuff.
Well, I like it. So,
Well,
go ahead.
You said the important thing there. Yeah, you said the very important thing, because you can't rescue yourself when you're overdosing.
Yeah.
So it's your friends and family that really need to understand how to use it.
Mm-hmm. When I came home
But you did.
Yeah, when I came home with the kit, I gave it to my mom and dad and was like, "Here, take this."
Good.
Because it's not gonna do any good in my pocket. I'm gonna be asleep on the ground, hoping someone else has it. But yeah, the more of those things are out there, the better.
So so beyond that, that's your favorite course to teach, and then we've got like I said, y'all are currently taking applications for the mental health folks. You have a few positions and openings.
We do. So we have scholarships for the RSPS, the substance use, the MHPS, the mental health, and we're taking applications to hire some great folks.
I think that he just said my name.
Hey.
The great part.
Yeah. Great folks.
His ears perked up.
Yeah, right. I was like, hey, that's me. Anything else you want to, we've covered a lot, but anything else about the organization that y'all offer that maybe we didn't get to?
Well, it's hopefully everything's opening back up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But we like to remind people that you can have fun in recovery, and we do a lot of outings. We have like Recovery at the Movies, where we go to the Angelica Theater, and we'll truck a whole bunch of our peers over there, meet other people there, free popcorn, free drink, recovery related movie, for some of the folks that live in this neighborhood that we serve, they really don't have movie ticket money.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
So to get out once a month and be with other people that are sober and having fun, and that's huge. I never thought I'd have fun in recovery.
Yeah, well, that's
miserable.
also a stigma that I'm trying to dispel, is the fact that I have more fun not being hammered than I ever thought I would.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's like, wow, I'm here and I'm present and I'm actually enjoying it, and I don't need that to have my edge, And it's and you don't know it until you experience it.
Yeah.
Because the whole time, I've always alcohol always just equaled fun.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, well, wow. Sobriety can equal fun too.
That's so important what you just say. You don't know it until you experience it. We can say it all we want, but until you experience it, that's when you know it. It's in, have fun in sobriety, have friends in sobriety.
Yeah.
If you're in a major city like Dallas or Fort Worth, where we're at right now, there's plenty of people in recovery. Plenty of pretty cool people. Get to know them.
I always like it. It's the secret society that's out there of people in recovery. It's like, oh, wow, I wish I would have known this when I was struggling, half the stuff that we talk about. And that was kind of the whole idea behind the show, because there's all this information that I have found out now that I'm, in recovery. And it's, stuff I wish I would have had the knowledge of prior to, or, while I was showing up to 12-step meetings drunk.
Yeah.
I would have gone, oh, well, maybe I'll show up to this meeting drunk.
There was a lot of that in your story too.
Yeah.
When you were talking, a whole lot of like, I don't know about Oxford houses. I don't know about, this or that. The information sometimes just isn't out. Sometimes our ears are closed.
Yeah. Sure.
But sometimes the information's just never been heard.
Right. So, anything else coming up? I know you said that the events you're planning. I also got this flyer for the South Dallas Drug Court that was at your at the organization. So, you want to tell us a little bit about that, Craig?
You might have to read that one.
I got to read this one.
I
No, it says the South Dallas Drug Court is a unique collaboration with criminal justice, substance abuse providers, and mental health providers designed to help with Class C misdemeanors.
Yeah.
The drug court provides comprehensive supervision, peer support, drug testing, and treatment services upon successful completion of the program. Each participant's case will be dismissed. I like that.
Yeah, I can tell you a little bit about drug court.
Well, there you
want.
go.
I mean, drug court essentially, you know, for a long time we have addressed substance abuse disorders with the legal system, you know, primarily with the legal system. And drug court is an attempt to kind of remedy that, to come up with something better. Like I talked about, Class C misdemeanors, they have not yet gone into felonies with drug court in Texas. Hopefully they will. Other states do. But essentially when the legal system gets a hold of a drug addict or an alcoholic with a misdemeanor offense, they're starting to put them in drug court. So instead of you go do 6 months in county or, you know, whatever, now it's like you go to a 30-day inpatient treatment center, and then after that you do 3 months of outpatient, and we'll drug test you and, you know, whatever, trying to get people help.
Sure. Instead of just giving them a suite at Lou's on the levee.
Instead of just adding to the, you know, prison population,
right.
and adding, you know, charges to people's records. And most importantly, like it says, you complete that, you know, you get that dismissed.
I know, that's big.
That is big. So, yeah, drug court's an attempt to start to do this the right way, hopefully, for some folks. Because the legal stuff's got to be addressed. I mean, you can't just go out and steal stuff or drive drunk or whatever. But yeah, you know, hopefully turn that kind of stuff around.
One of these days, we'll have to have you tell your Target story again. I don't know if you ever.
There's plenty more where that came from.
Had that on the air.
The Target story's not the only one there, buddy. There was
Nolan did some mass DVD borrowing from Target one time.
If you've been working with drug addicts down there off MLK for a while, you're well aware. I'm an IV user for almost 20 years, so I did a few things that the legal system frowns upon.
Yeah, that's definitely not uncommon. And you know, I wish I had been offered drug court for some of the things I had done.
Yeah,
you know, because I really felt a lot of shame about having a record.
A lot of people do.
Before recovery.
Yeah.
But now that I'm in recovery, you know, I really don't know anyone that doesn't have some sort of charge.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't wear it as a badge of honor. It's part of my story.
It's definitely. Yeah. It seems to be kind of par for the course, if you will.
Yeah. It happens.
Yeah.
Hey, so Craig, I know you are, like I said, you're at work, and I appreciate you taking the time out. Is there anybody, obviously, I mean, if you want to give your wife a shout out, you can. But is there anybody you want to mention or anything we missed on your end?
Or just message you want to leave us with or anything, yeah.
Now, I already mentioned my CEO, you know.
Joe Powell, and shout out.
Joe Powell, yes. He does a lot of public speaking, both in the Capitol here. And
I can't wait to meet him, so I'm excited about that.
Yeah, he's a great personality. But yeah, I'd love to get a shout out to my wife. It's my new wife. I didn't call her that. You know, we've been married less than a year. We got married during COVID. You know, and what I love about her is she's unintentionally in recovery.
Okay.
You know,
she's recovering.
She's allergic to alcohol.
And with you,
that's what she told me when I met her, and I was like, "Oh, really? Me too." No, she's really allergic to alcohol.
Oh,
yeah, I know.
Bummer.
Yeah, well,
yeah,
but
like in her early 30s, she developed this like allergy to it. And
yeah, some people have that. Well, I mean,
ER.
My wife is part Asian, so there is a proclivity for people of Asian descent to, you know, they'll get really flush, and it's like an allergic reaction. Yeah, so that is not a misnomer.
Well, there we go.
Yeah. So other than that, I appreciate having you on, and all this fun stuff that we talked about. Let me hit that address again, is APAA recovery.org. and you can find out anything that we talked about on the show today. Craig, I can't thank you enough for coming on, and I know it was a last minute thing. I was there on Wednesday, and I was like, "Hey, we don't have a guest for the show. Can you do it?"
Yeah.
I was like, "Sure." So that worked out, and I appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, and thanks for all the work that you do.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of stuff is important, and you will probably never know how many people that you've helped and lives that you've maybe saved, especially with those overdose classes and stuff like that. And the numbers, not for you to know, but just know that it matters and it makes a difference. So thanks for doing that.
Yeah. I appreciate you guys saying that. And I'm glad to be on here, Kelly, and the professor. Still confused about a professor of what.
Many things.
The professor
Many
everything.
Many leather-bound books.
Oh,
it just so happened that the professor was our human Google while we were in Summer Sky. So he was like, you have limited access to the internet while you're on the inside, so to speak,
Or not.
And then people would ask me, and I go, I don't know, ask the professor. So I just kind of went with that.
Yeah, I have a lot of useless information in this brain that I've been able to parlay into not a lot. So far.
But I mean, the thing is I think he makes a fantastic host for a recovery webcast, because he definitely has a lot of knowledge about drug use,
sure,
and a lot of knowledge about recovery,
sure,
and a lot of in between
astrophysics.
Hold on, I was going to get to the incarceration,
sure,
also hospitalization. There's a lot of good tricks or good knowledge in that brain over there, and we just try to weed through all the other stuff.
Yeah, as best we can. No, it is definitely
it's a gift and a curse.
It's a title that that's been bestowed on me. There are no degrees there or anything.
No
not
degree
a professor.
gotcha.
Not a professor in the real.
So what I'm hearing is you're a lifelong learner.
That's. I do love to learn. I'm always learning.
That keeps us young. Yeah.
He is a student of life. I like that.
I like that too.
We all
I think that's accurate.
Well, all right, Craig.
Yeah, I've had people ask.
Thanks for hopping on, and go help some people.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do that. And I'm glad this show is reaching other people, and they're hearing this, and they're realizing that the recovery's out there.
Yeah.
There's 23 million of us.
Yeah.
Not that secret society, but it's hard to get introduced into that first door.
And that's what, and we're trying to be that doorway for everybody, and let them know that this stuff is out there, and if they need it, then it's here for them.
And there's lots of doors, lots of ways in.
And that they're not alone.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
That's all. Don't get me starting to preach about community. Because I always love that.
You're going to get preaching.
Yeah, that's always a big part. Part.
Well, thanks, Craig.
All right, Craig.
You have a good one.
Have a good one. We'll
Thank
see
you, guys.
I'll
Have
talk to you soon. Look for my email.
Will do.
Take it easy. Thanks, Craig. And
right,
let's see. What else do we have, Nolan?
I don't know. We can shoot.
We've got nothing. So
we've got nothing. No. He touched a nerve with me. I guess we could jump into the stigma or whatever of giving drug addicts naloxone to bring them back to life. Like, they're just going to go get high again or whatever.
Sure. But there might be that chance that that might be the time that they accept recovery or figure that out.
I will try not to get upset when I talk about it, but really, how heartless do you have to be to even feel that way? I mean, come on, we're talking about people's lives.
Yeah.
You got a chance to save somebody or not.
Well, but
the answer's
normal
always
person
save.
out there sits there and thinks, oh, this person did it to themselves, which on some level is true.
It's 100% true.
Yeah, but it's not like that they don't want to stop. It's just they can't,
Yeah.
or they don't know how to successfully, get into some type of recovery.
I understand being upset by what drug addicts do.
Right. Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. They do some upsetting stuff.
But letting them die.
Yeah. That's
where the social line is drawn.
Yeah,
or
exactly. Just that stuff. That's good medicine that's out there saving lives. And there are tons of people in recovery right now that would be a statistic, a name on a list, a tombstone in a graveyard somewhere without that medicine.
Oh yeah.
So it gives people second chances, 10th chances, whatever. Doesn't matter what the number is. Just keep giving them chances. I mean,
sure.
But and then I remember there was the dumbest thing I ever heard was there was this idea that there was naloxone parties out there where drug addicts would on purpose overdose themselves to get the ultimate high, man.
That sounds like a smart one.
And then have their friend give them naloxone to bring them back.
Oh.
No, that doesn't exist.
That's not exist.
That's not a real thing that exists.
Do not speak it into existence.
Yeah, that is nonsense. That's not a real thing.
So I wanted to ask you a question because I
Sure.
think you would actually be good in this field as well. So I'm like, I'm going to take the MHPS, the class and sign up and it sounds like this is the way to go, and it's not too far from you.
Yeah, you were texting me about it a little bit.
I think I don't know if that's where your head and heart is at for Nolan.
My heart is
the professor.
Yeah.
I know you're all about recovery and stuff, but to do it as a vocation is a different thing.
I'm not against that or anything. My heart's always with helping drug addicts and alcoholics. And
sure.
If I get paid for it, then awesome. But I don't know. We can talk about it more off air. But
I'm putting you on the spot. You have to sign right now.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a contract in front of you.
Well, speaking of, we might as well do this. Speaking of some people that get paid to help drug addicts and alcoholics, Summer Sky.
Love them.
Out in Stephenville, Texas. It's an inpatient treatment center in Stephenville, Texas. Very affordable. Awesome people that do a great job out there. Where Kelly and I got sober, where we met.
And I still do IOP with them.
Yeah.
So occasionally I'll hop on there.
I still text with Scott every couple of weeks or so. Just
touch
base and let them know.
It's like they actually care.
Yeah, almost, huh? No, they do. And if you need some help, we can get you in touch with them, or you can www.summersky.us. That's the website, and get hooked up.
Hey, Weston, if you got those shirts, can you pull Weston? You got the shirts. I don't know. I always like to surprise Weston, or I like to wake Weston up halfway during the show or a quarter way in to make sure he's still there. But yeah, we actually have these shirts coming in, courtesy of Summer Sky,
of our partnership with
exactly. And it's the I went to rehab and all I got was my life back. Actually, the rainbow shirt. I don't know if you have that one, but this one, this is actually up on my website right now. I have to kind of go third-party vendor, so they're kind of expensive. So they don't. It does
have a pill on a skateboard and a rainbow.
Right. No, I was going to say they're expensive. Yeah, they're expensive because it's direct to garment. And then there's the shipping and blah, blah, blah. So by the time it's said and done, I'm making like $3 off of you. So it says there is no magic pill for sobriety. And if there was, we would all take too many, which is our sign out line. And if you go to djkellyreverb.com, definitely, feel free to order that or a lovely Lone Star shirt. And then also, please sign up for our YouTube channel. Help us spread the word.
Yeah.
Get this show out there so, we can help blow this show up so we can
help more
people. Yeah. It's a numbers game. So anything you can do, sharing the show, liking the show, commenting on the show, whatever. Also, if you go to thispinkcloud.com, that will take you to our YouTube channel. trying to get the subscription up there. So if you haven't done that, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel because it makes us look good.
Yeah, which is really what it's all about.
Yeah, it's really all about us and our numbers.
Yeah,
right?
I pretty much spend every waking moment just trying to look good.
Yeah, and trying to grow the YouTube channel.
Trying to look good.
Well, anyway, but other than that, we've got coming up in the weeks to come. I know I have somebody from a recovery Dharma, which will be fun. And then I'm working on getting somebody from Dogs Matter that is a spokesperson. And
that was so cool that you told me about that.
Yeah, they are an organization that will actually house your dog while you take care of yourself and go to recovery and go to rehab.
You and I both know, how many times I've been to treatment or whatever, but I can't even recall a single time when I was in a facility where there wasn't at least one patient who was tripping out about their dog.
Yeah,
sure. Oh, it's with my sister and she doesn't know how to take care of him. She doesn't care. Or
right.
whatever.
Yeah.
Or it's with my buddy and my buddy's a friggin' drug addict and who knows.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's really cool that
that's
exists.
around. That's a great idea, and I'm glad it's out there.
You got to go to inpatient treatment, and someone will take care of your dog.
And if not, I will just get on here and keep on constantly talking about it. if we can't get a spokesperson from the organization, then I'll be your spokesperson.
Yeah.
But that, and then also hopefully we get somebody from Cornbread Hustle as well, because
it's just a cool name.
And I want a T-shirt from Cornbread Hustle. There's got to be
you should
a
want a
T-shirt
T-shirt from
But
Cornbread
they
Hustle.
basically are a resource for people that are in recovery and trying to find a gig, man, because that's not the easiest thing to do. When you're, if you have all the so to speak, badges of honor, he goes, I'm not wearing this as a badge of honor, but your DUIs and all your record and stuff like that. It's not always the easiest to get out there and get to work.
Mm-hmm.
So they
don't I know it?
They are a resource out there for you as well. But other than that, I think that's all we have for this week. You got anybody you want to shout out to? Anything?
No, just shout out to. Not really, buddy.
Way to prepare, but
no, I mean, you know how it is. I don't know about shout outs.
No. I mean, or just anything you want to mention, or
no, I just enjoyed talking with that guy. Like I said, like I told him at the end,
with Craig.
Yeah, anyone that's out there on the front lines. That's just how I talk.
I gotcha.
Anyone that's out there on the front lines and trying to help drug addicts and alcoholics, I have an appreciation for that. I mean, along the way,
sure,
when I didn't care anything about myself,
right,
there were people that kept me going, sometimes against my will, but kept me going. You know? And I've got children today that wouldn't even exist if it wasn't for folks like that. Kept me going along the way. So,
right,
just because someone doesn't get sober right away doesn't mean you didn't help them.
Sure.
And I'm a big proponent
of that. And like they say, and I don't, but I mean, they relapse is part of the process a lot of the times. Yeah.
Sometimes, absolutely. Yeah. And, but yeah, all that help matters. And, and you get something out of it too. I get something out of helping people. And like you said, he gets something out of it too. But
cool.
No, always good way to start the day.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us this week. And Weston, if you'd like to play us out and be Mr. DJ over there, be sure check out the shirts. And remember,
happy birthday, EJ.
Oh, happy birthday. Oh, yeah. Happy birthday, girl. There is no magic pill for sobriety, because if there was, we would all take too many.
Yeah, we probably would.